Hello. We talk about today design of a bracket. Maybe again you will feel it is a bracket, but then there is a difference this time going to be where we are going to learn a bracket, the design of a bracket which is subjected to bending as well as direct stresses. See, remember last time what we have learnt, we have taken a case which was something like this. So there was a bracket like this, and on that bracket there was a load, and this load was such that it was causing a bending moment, and accordingly it was also causing a shear moment. So accordingly we have done the work. If you remember, it was like this. Now what we see is there is going to be a load here which will be having some difference. Say for example, suppose this load is like this. Now what will happen? Now you will see that many different things will happen. First of all, you will have to take a component. So instead of this, you are considering these two. And then what will happen because of this? What will happen because of this? That is how we have to take this into consideration. So let us go further and see exactly how this is done. So the topic is design of a bracket which is subjected to combined load. So let's first draw a figure which I am drawing like this. So the section here is, we are taking a simple section B and T, and then we are applying a load now which is, let's say, maybe like this, making angle theta. So because of this, it will have two components, P cos theta here, and then this will be P sin theta. Correct. So, and one more thing, compared to its neutral axis, this is the position of neutral axis. So we need to say know the distance. So for this we are given, this is, I think we call it as what, L1, and then from here till the base is L2. Okay. So now this is the situation. We are given the bracket and certain things are given. Of course the design stress is given, and the load is given, angle theta is given, and L1, L2 given. And then you are asked to find out V, which is 4 times T, and of course T. Basically the cross section you have to design. Now, as I said earlier, there could be a case where this might be not so easy exercise. So there can be some change where you will have to find Ft induced and maybe F shear induced, etc., FC induced, whatever. So in that case, this could be given to you, this could be a part of what is given, and then you may have to find out this depending on the complexity of the problem and the level by which you can solve this. So now let's see how this is going to be done. Here let's take these two forces separate. So for P sine theta, that means the effect of P sine theta. So as you see here, the force P is resolved into two components, P cos theta and P sine theta. So instead of saying P is acting, we are saying these two forces are acting. So out of that, what will happen because of P sine theta? Now you will see here, there is a bracket like this. This is a force. Okay. Now can you see this case similar to what we have already done? In fact, while solving this problem, we are not going to do anything new here. Whatever is already done, same thing we are going to apply here. Please remember that. So, as far as P sine theta is concerned, can you relate this to what is already done earlier? So, there is a bracket like this. At this point, there is a force acting, which is, you can see, it is parallel to the neutral axis. And you are asked to find out the size. What kind of design equation you write? Is it related to something which you have already done? So, try to go back and find out. Do you remember we have done this? And then this was a section which we have designed. So whatever we have done for this section with this kind of load, is this same as this? See, the part might look different, the name could be different. But as I said earlier, we are not going to go by the names. We are going to go by the way in which the forces are applied, the stresses are developed and so on. So you will realize that this and this case is same. So accordingly, whatever we have done here, what we have done here, we have found out what is the direct stress because of this load, what is the bending stress because of this load. The bending stress was here of certain type, maybe a compressive type, here it could be of tensile type and so on. And then we have added the two types of stresses, the effect of direct, effect of bending, effect of direct, effect of bending and so on. That's what we will have to do. So for this P sine theta, what will happen is something similar. So let me call these 2 points as per whatever is shown there. So this point is A and this point is B. So we'll write now for first, maybe effect of direct we'll write. So I'll write here at A. So at A what will happen? Direct is FT direct. Direct stress will be force upon area. So P sine theta upon area. And then F bending. Now bending will be what? Because of P sine theta at A, the bending effect will be of compressive type. So this bending will be compressive. The formula is usual M by Z. So what is M? M is P sine theta into L1 divided by Z for this section is 1/6 of TB square. Correct? 1/6 of TB square. Now P sine theta, effect of same P sine theta at B, what it will be? So at B, what will happen? Again, FT direct will be tensile, so it will be same. And then F bending, what will be the effect of bending? You know, bending is this way, P and this distance, so this is the bending we are talking about. So that will create a tensile force here. So the bending effect will be of tensile type, which will be M by Z, which will be P sine theta into L1 upon, now Z will be similar, 1/6 of TB square. Okay, so this is what will happen because of P sine theta at A and at B. Now, this is not the only force, this force also is there, P cos theta. So what will happen because of P cos theta? So for P cos theta, what will happen? So P cos theta is acting like this. We are talking about this case. So at A, what will happen? Because of P cos theta, at this point A, force is along the cross section. So this will create a direct stress which is of shear type. Direct stress will be of shear type, and it will be equal to P cos theta, that is the force, upon the area. force upon area. Then the same P cos theta, what it will cause at A, that is a bending effect. Due to P cos theta, what is the kind of bending effect? Now this P cos theta acting at a distance of L2 will result into this kind of moment, this way. So this moment and right here, this moment will cause tensile stress here. So bending effect will be of tensile type, and it is equal to P cos theta multiplied by L2 because this is the distance, and then the section modulus will again come the same, 1/6 of TB square, because neutral axis will remain the same. On this side there is a tension, on this side there is a compression, and at neutral axis there is no stress. So that was at A, and then at B. What will happen at B because of P cos theta? So the effect of direct will be the same like shear stress, and the effect of bending. The effect of bending at B will be of a compressive type, and that will be equal to m by z, that is P cos theta into L2 upon 1/6 of TB square. But it is compressive bending, tensile bending. This could remain same, but see the way it is different. So now what we have done, at A, because of P sin theta, because of direct and bending, what happened? At B, because of P cos theta, because of direct and bending, what happened? So we have found out all the 4 cases here, 4 cases here. So now having done this, now what could be the next thing? Now we have to find out what is the total stress at A, total stress at B. Okay. So what is the total stress at A? Total stress at A will be this, this, this and this. Okay. So I'll just draw one line here. So if I put a partition like this, these are the stresses at A because of P sin theta, 2 types, at A because of P cos theta, these 2 types. Similarly at B, these are the total stress. That means now we have to combine this, this, this and this to get the total stresses at A. Now how that can be done? I'll just take this out. I'll prepare one small chart here, A and B, and then under A there is direct and bending, direct and bending, and then here P sin theta and P cos theta. Okay, so at A, because of P sin theta, direct is this and bending is this. I'll just write here Ft, direct is this with this formula, and bending is Fc. So I'm just writing which is on the left side. These 2 are here. Then at same A, because of the P cos theta, there will be direct will be of shear type and bending will be of tensile type. So these 4 things are written in brief at A. Similarly at B, because of P sin theta, it is Ft direct, and Ft bending. Ft bending, and here it is F shear direct because of P cos theta. No, I have to write here. Because of P cos theta, it is direct is shear and bending is compression. Right. So having done this, now what can be the next thing? The next thing is to combine all this. Now when you combine all this, you will find one is tensile, compressive, tensile, shear. Tensile, compressive, tensile, shear. So this is, as you know, shear cannot be added directly to this, but these can be added in each other. Only tensile and compressive, they are opposing each other. Okay. So now what we do is, suppose now this problem, as I said earlier, if this problem is given as a checking problem, that means the dimensions are there, you have to only find out the stresses at A. So what are the stresses acting at A? That is how the problem should be defined. We are going to find out the induced stresses. So induced stresses at A will be, these are the either tensile or compressive total, and then there is a shear. So the effect of these three is added in this by the square root formula, that will be the total stress. Same thing here. Here what will happen when you add all of them? There is a tensile, there is shear, there is a compressive. So these three again, here these three are to be added, and then this is to be combined with this by square root equation. Similarly here, these three things are added, and this is combined with this by square root equation. So when we do that, we will write like this. So I'll write within this. So I'll write like this. At A, if T or C, depending on what it is equal to, now these three things I am writing, if T, I will do one more thing here, the one because of, I'll call it as say T1, 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 and this will be T2. For P sin theta, I will make it as T1. So just for as a notation, so it will be FT1 direct plus FT2 bending minus, or this is minus FC bending. Okay, so when you have numerical values, when you find it out, depending on the actual values, the net answer will be either plus or minus. If it is minus, you say that the whatever value, numerical value has come, that is a compressive stress. If it comes plus, then you can say that the value is plus, so the stress is tensile type, depending on the numerical value. So that is the tensile or compressive stress one. And the second thing is, what else is acting? This one is acting, shear stress is also acting, which is of direct type, is of no use. So now having obtained these two stresses, one is this and the other is this, now you can find out the equation of the square root equation, which we can now write. So how do we combine this? Let us assume that this is going to be tensile. Suppose tensile is predominant, so this has come as tensile. So at A, there is a tensile stress and there is a shear stress. Therefore, the total stress is, there will be principal stresses here. So the total stress, where should I write? I'll write here. Ft, I'll write maybe a smaller one. Ft principal is equal to half Ft plus square root of Ft square plus 4 shear square I have just written the same equation again. But then after you write the equation, you have to put whatever values, numerical values have come here. Those values you have to put here. See, this is the total tensile or compressive. We assume it as tensile. So this figure will come here and here, and the shear stress figure will come here. And you are going to combine it by the square root equation. Whatever value comes, that will be a tensile principal stress. That will be tensile principal stress acting at A. Then similarly, shear maximum. Shear stress maximum will be, that will be only one side. Now this equation you already have with you. So half of square root of ft square plus 4 times f shear square. Okay, so that way you will combine these two stresses by this formula and find out the resultant shear maximum stress at A. So this everything is at A. Okay, now same thing we will have to carry out by using these values. See, I have done everything for A. So this whole thing is for A. Similarly, you have to find out by combining these stresses. These are tensile, compressive. So same way we will write tensile and compressive, whatever are the numerical values. And then shear stress is this one. After that, after getting these two, same way you can write down the formula and find out the stresses that are acting at B. So these are the stresses acting at A. Similarly, by using this, there will be another set of stresses acting at B. Okay, so we have found out the stresses at these 2 points, and this was the case where the load was acting at some inclined angle, and as a result the two components which were there, they were causing different types of effects. Both of them were causing direct effect, but the direct effect was different. For P sin theta it was a direct tensile stress, and for P cos theta it was causing a shear stress. Whereas both of them were also causing bending stresses, those bending stresses also were depending on which way the bracket is going to bend. So at A there was a compressive or tensile depending on which force we are talking about. And finally this is the way we are done. Now had this problem been of a design type, in the sense that you were asked to design the cross section, then what would have happened is this T and B would have been unknown. Maybe B is in terms of T, so only T is unknown. So all these equations would have been written by these sub-equations, and all of them would be containing T in that as unknown. And then you would have to equate this with the design stress. So having written this equation with square root, with all these, everything inside, P sin theta, P cos theta, then T square, maybe T cube it will happen. So everything is written here. So this will be numbers and T. This will be again numbers and T plus the square root sin, this, that, everything. So having done this, that equation containing T as unknown, when you equate that with the design stress, design tensile stress here, design shear stress here, and if you could solve this equation and find out the value of T, that could be the case of a designing of a bracket like this. But then it will go slightly out of, not syllabus as such, but it will go, as far as the working is concerned, it will be very tedious work. So that's why these problems are mainly